How many old references? I swear to God, Undertaker and Kane have not been a thing.
Editor,
for
can we
a
put an
long
old
time.
guy counter somewhere on the screen?
Oh my God, these are so many. Yo, what's up, guys? Josh here, otherwise known as Xell, and with me we have.
Hi, my name is Crim, also known as the Asian Avenger, aka the best taste in anime.
And we are the Nii-San
podcast. There.
Fusion. Ha.
There. Ha.
That's not how the fusion dance goes.
Woo! All right.
If I fuse to you, does that mean we'd still only have like bi-parted hair like you have? You know,
I think
like,
that just means we have full black hair.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, so essentially it would just be this half would be black hairs.
Well, somehow we've gotten more boring together.
My eyesight
like
got
less
better,
cool.
though. My eyesight probably got better. At least I assume so.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Because I think we had this discussion.
What, your vision is like minus 12,000 or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, okay. Minus 12,000 is a number, but yeah, roughly. So,
I think I'm like a -1, so I think.
oh, my God. My eyesight's so
I can
bad.
drive legally without my glasses.
Oh, I cannot. I definitely cannot. Whew, and if I am, report me. Because, good Lord, no. That is never supposed to happen.
But yeah, God. Okay, today is episode 3. Boom, 3 episodes already. Time's
everyone
going so
knows
fast.
the third episode or the third movie in every trilogy is the best one, right? Yeah.
The first movie I thought of was The Matrix, and I was like, no.
Toy Story 3.
I haven't seen Toy Story 3.
Blade.
Isn't that like a 4 now?
Oh yeah. Blade. I'm kidding about Blade.
Oh God, I can't believe our first references to movies are Blade and The Matrix. They're all like 20-year-old movies at this point.
Yes, those are movies that I don't know why those came off the top of my head. I feel like they're actually better threequels, but Blade.
Our references are old, therefore we are the Nii-San podcast. That is how it
Hey, we live up to the name. Hey.
And as always, we'll start off with some, some anime news, because this is a podcast about anime, not 20-year-old movie trilogies. So
I feel like you're talking to me directly. Okay, sure.
well, I actually am talking to you directly.
Yeah, okay,
too.
technically you are. Okay, never mind.
And so I think one of the big things that happened this week was that the Quintessential Quintuplets movie just got announced for 2022. God, it's 2022 already around the corner. Where did time go? But yeah, I think this is interesting. I think this is it's cool that it's getting a movie. I guess people are hyped about that. But also, I think a lot of anime fans are wondering, what the heck is up with all these movies? Like, there's so many anime movies instead of new seasons, and people are starting to wonder, like, is that a good thing for anime? And like, I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on this, because like, I definitely have an opinion on this. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so the way I look at it, because you think like Demon Slayer, they had that whole arc. Instead of like having that be another season, they turned it into a movie, right?
Yeah.
So I think the way this works is I feel like it's a lot better if for like some of the shows that we wish we got a season 2 of, or you know, more content, because like some of them just ended abruptly, right? I feel like this is good. That this is good for that. Exactly in that situation, maybe there's an anime out there, I don't know, whichever one you can think of that deserved a second season but didn't get it, this is how you would do it. Or it'd be a good way to like kind of retcon a terrible season 2. Let's just go The Promised Neverland. Okay, so if The Promised Neverland we needed to recover and like just totally redo season 2, I would be a-okay with them going, all right, we're gonna do a movie, we're gonna make it better, right? But I do worry that if this is going to be a way that they're going to start replacing like additional seasons. I hope that never happens.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Demon Slayer movie myself, but I'm really hoping here that this is just their way of saying, okay, there's a lot of stories to tell, and we don't want to like, you know, stretch this whole arc over 30 episodes. And so we're just going to put this in a movie. That's fine, but we're still going to give you more of the seasons that you know. Now, if they start swapping that out, instead of a season 2 of let's just say in this case, a season 3 of like Megalo Box, we're just going to give you a movie. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I like that.
That's kind of the trend, right? Like with Demon Slayer, they were like, instead of doing that arc as a series, they're going to do it as a movie. So Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to make this all about that topic. But I thought it was really interesting because, like, in the end, the way I feel about it is like the things that are good for movies aren't necessarily good for TV shows, and vice versa. Like, I think they're pretty separate mediums in my opinion, and like trying to force a long form story into a movie format for me feels like potentially disaster. However, I guess the upside to a movie is that we'll get probably better animation quality throughout it because like movie quality just tends to be better because they have less overall frames animation that they have to animate and whatnot. But like I don't know. I hope it's not going to be a trend where it's just like instead of seasons we just get like movie seasons, I guess, and that's just like how it is. Like I wouldn't want that.
I think I know you're like I think this would just be a personal hell. What if it's we don't even get new seasons, we get a movie but they're live action?
Crim, why would you speak such sentences into existence? Why would you do this? It's like the most cursed monkey paw wish ever. It's like, okay, so some of these like things that people want really badly, like No Game No Life season 2, and it's
action?
like it's announced, but it's live action. People are just like, oh no.
What if like Attack on Titan just like cuts you up like, hey, we're gonna actually make the final part of the season live action?
Oh god.
Because they already had that hit of a movie that they had already. Right? You see the live action?
Wait, there was one?
Have you? Oh,
I didn't see it.
Oh, it's really bad.
I haven't seen it.
It's really bad. Like apparently.
Wow,
like,
what a surprise.
I think the only good live action movie was the was the Kenshin one.
Death Note. No.
Yes.
The Netflix Death Note one?
Ah, my favorite. I will say Willem Dafoe though was a very good casting choice. I stand by that, and that's it. Okay, we're gonna go. Okay,
yeah, we are.
This is a whole nother thing we can get into.
Monkey paw wishes in anime. That's a topic for another day.
I think we're making it a thing. We're wishing it into existence by talking about it.
I want to unwish it back out of existence, please. But yeah, I think this episode we're gonna go and talk about our watch list and talk about like what so far, because this is basically our first impressions. Like most shows have maximum 4 episodes out, so we're like in the very beginning things of the season, and this is kind of like when people sort of decide like, am I gonna drop this or am I not? And then sometimes it's like some of these shows that you gave a chance that you didn't think was going to be that great ends up being way better than expected. So today's going to be kind of talking about some of those anime and like where we feel about it so far. But I guess we start with the ones that I think like everybody's excited for, right? Like My Hero Academia. It's a brand name that everybody's heard of at this point. How do you feel about the season so far?
I know that it can't just always be this like riding high, big badass, like moment where like you're seeing like Endeavor, like like getting his epic battle, right? Showing you why he's currently top ranked hero. But does it feel kind of weird to go from that to right back to, hey, we're gonna just now do some everyday school stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's too much of a polar shift. It didn't ease us back down. So the way the season started, it kind of, because it goes directly from that, right? With like the fight with the Nomu and stuff like that. And then, all right, now we're back in class.
It does feel kind of like, what, we're just supposed to go back to school like normal? Is this like what? A giant disaster occurred where like 2 of our top heroes almost got their like asses kicked by some artificial machine thing, and we're just supposed to like be okay with that and go back to school?
Back to 5th period. All right, you got it.
Wait, we don't get like a villain like school break thing? It's like instead of snow days, you get villain day breaks. Like we don't get any of those.
Like honestly, why not? Right? And like that's another thing. I feel like we've seen a lot of building with the Legion, the villains, right? We've got all of them, and we haven't like seen anything come of it. Like they were just like, think about like last season, right? I know that, what is it, Overload was the main villain, right?
Yeah.
And then Overhaul, sorry. And then there was still like that subline or like plot line where it was all of the other villains, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't really see much else happen yet, and I feel like they're planting all these seeds and all of this stuff, but they're not really progressing on any of them. They're just planting more seeds on us right now. And it's like, I don't want season 5 to start out like how season 4 started, which was a lot of nothing, right? And then it finally got good.
Well, let's talk specifically. Spoiler warning, just letting you guys know, we're gonna talk a little more specifically about the plots, I think, this time around. So, we're kind of talk about our reactions to the actual episodes that have happened, and yeah, I guess like they've planted a couple seeds already, right? Like very early on into the season, they showcased Dabi, and apparently he's got some like underhanded scheming things going on with Mr. Hawkeye, and they've like planted an underground deal, and then they're just like, okay, school arc. Here we go. Like,
so it's
okay,
like Hawks,
now we're in school.
Is he a double agent?
Yeah, I mean, so like, is he a triple agent, like double agent? Like, who is this guy? And I was like not sure at first if we were supposed to trust him or not, but then they were like, oh no, that was the whole deal, is that he's supposed to infiltrate them, but I don't know. Like,
infiltrate
I'm kind of curious,
though, right? Like,
yeah, right? Like, who? The thing with any double agent story is like, who are they really a double agent for? Is always like the big question,
right? And this is where I think there's like a third party, right, that we haven't seen. Now, I'm not a manga person. I am only the anime. So for those that have read ahead and know everything, you're like, haha, I know. But for me,
keep those comments to yourself.
Yeah. For me right now, I'm going to enjoy my what I know. And I think there's a third party. I think there's something that we just don't know about yet. And I'm hoping that's the villains. Like, I forgot like what are all their names already, because it's been that long since we've seen them again.
Yeah, it's been a while,
right?
Just the whole League of Villains.
Yeah, the League of Villains.
People, or...
The dude with the hands on his face. I forgot his name. I have his Nendoroid, but the thing here is,
man, you have his Nendo.
Yeah,
you don't remember
I can't remember his
disrespect.
name. It's been so long.
Don't look to me either, because I can't remember names to save my life.
Exactly, I can't either. And so that's the thing that they built him up. And they're building up this whole, like, all for one and one for, like, the one for all and the past one for all people, right? Everyone else that's had it. And now there's this weird link with Deku and somebody, like, who seems to be all for one's brother, who was, like, weaker, didn't really have any powers or any powers of use. So, like, that's another seed they've planted, and I feel like right now they're kind of really just expanding on that, but they're kind of moving slow. Nothing has happened, and although the thing that is kind of cool is I do like seeing the return of the dude that could like mind control people if you respond to him.
Oh yeah. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
light purple hair
guy. Mind control purple hair. Yeah, that one. And now that I like that he's got his little face mask on, that he's able to change his vocals and whatnot, and he's able to mimic others, I thought that was really cool. So while they have planted tons of seeds and haven't really resolved many of them or any of them really, they have brought back a character that I think is pretty cool. So we're gonna hope though that this is all for a reason. And because I sure hope so, because right now from where I'm at, I am enjoying it. It's just a solid average so far. I'm saying like it's probably right now where we're at with 3 episodes. I think 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. I think it's 3. I would probably give like about 3 out of 5 Nii-Sans right now.
Gotcha. I like. So the funny thing with that purple-haired guy, one day I'll remember names, but today's not that day.
Did you know Google?
The thing what I hated though about his reintroduction is they keep like underdogging him. Everyone's like, he's just some stupid guy who came up not in the hero chorus, and he's gonna be such a burden to you hero chorus guys. He's such.
You have to take the dead weight.
He's such a burden. Yeah, like get over there on the bench. Like they're just like dunking on him, and he's like. Wait, his power's like really good, and he's like augmented it to be even better. But like the entire time, he's like, "I'm sorry, guys. Like I will try not to get in your way," and like blah blah. And I'm like, why are we pretending like this guy is just like some average Joe coming out of no? I mean, he's a smart guy. He's very capable, and like
is he?
If anything, he's. I mean. More than Invisible Girl so far. Like,
how do you know that you haven't seen where she's at?
She's so invisible, she never even shows up on my screen.
She could have been there for every moment of any one of those scenes, and we wouldn't know.
Alrighty, this is about as like tinfoil hat theory as like Jar Jar Binks is actually the ultimate Darth Lord like type of thing. Like, no, I don't buy it at all. I will say though that the animation this season has been like absurdly good. I really liked stylistically what they did with the last episode, where they had like kind of like comic book type of like action letters that come up on the screen and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. And but yeah, like you said, it's been a slow start for me. It's like I still like it. It just isn't amazing. I'm gonna give it a solid 3.5. 3.5 Nii-Sans.
3.5 Nii-Sans.
Like 3 and the one white part of Crim's hair of a Nii-San, right? Like
could be my black half of the hair though. It could be either.
Yeah, we'll go with the other side.
Sure. Okay. Editor Don, just make sure you only have this side of it.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, I agree. It's just been a slow start.
Okay, the thing here is I just don't hope I really hope we don't have another, what's that dude's name again? The villain that was just like Gentleman, I don't know, I keep calling him Gentleman Jack.
Gentle Criminal.
Gentle Criminal. I hope we don't have another one of those arcs, because I don't understand his purpose at all. And he kind of just was a huge early part of season 4.
He was like meant to be a foil to Deku, because the whole point was that he was supposed to be like they set him up like that. Yeah, they set him up like that, where he was like the foil, where he was the guy that was not supported by anybody around him, and he goes to do the villainy thing. I mean, this is a huge tangent now, but like they tried to set him up that way. I don't think they were very successful in it. At the end of his arc, like I didn't hate him as a character. I didn't actually hate that arc, I think, as much as other people did. But like it felt very fillery and just kind of inconsequential, and I didn't feel like they did that like duality much justice at all.
I mean, I love the concert, so I mean, like, why would they want to? Why would he even want to stop that? Anyways, but yeah, like this season so far started slow, so hopefully it builds a little bit better. Like all of these seeds that they're planting now, I really hope they start actually resolving some of them, because I do despise how shonen's just like plant 50 different seeds and don't answer them until like you remember like they'll be in season 22. Do you remember back in season 5 when we planted this seed? We're gonna answer it now, because that's come on.
Yeah, so that's it for My Hero, I think. The other thing that I think a lot of people have been hyped on, and I've been really hyped on, is To Your Eternity. I believe the actual manga is called Immortal. Kelly was telling me that was the original title.
Who is Kelly?
I don't know. But anyways, Kelly's my girlfriend.
Oh, thank you.
And she's dope, so. Isn't that the best way to describe your loving girlfriend?
My girlfriend's dope.
She's dope.
Also,
dope.
Thanks for clarifying that, by the way. She's dope. Cool.
Kelly's gonna watch this and be like, I hate you so much. I'm so sorry, Kelly.
But how? You
Kelly's
just
amazing.
said she's dope. How could she be mad?
She's gonna be like, that's what you went with? Like, out of anything you could have said, dope? Okay. Anyways, To Your Eternity. That's where I'm going after she hears about this. But anyways, the anime has been really, really good so far. The second episode just came out today, and it's just crazy how real this anime gets right off the bat. Like, first episode, we already got the it
right
just already
here.
hits you. Kid's already dead.
Yeah.
And then second, they tried to kill a second kid. And I'm like, oh my god.
Children are just like getting on the chopping block in the first 2 episodes. Like I at first I was like, leave the dog alone. Do not touch the dog. If anything happens to this dog, the show's done. I mean, even if it's a weird space, like this is like a cute, sad anime version of The Thing almost. But like, if you watch, right, so. If you watch The Thing, like this is kind of like
I know
that.
What The Thing is,
so it's old people things. Don't worry about it.
You Fortniters will never understand.
Yeah, we don't need to do the dancing. There's none of that.
Yeah, the floss. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like this so far has been really good, and I didn't expect it to like just hit you in the feels right off the bat. Episode 1, episode 2, and also the new little girl. She's a sweetheart. She's so cute.
March. I remember her name. March.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, tell me though that some of the things that happen in this episode aren't just like super duper dark. Like she has that little flashback or like this like dream where her little sister or like and is getting like the baby is eaten in the bear's mouth and everything. I'm like, oh my god, are you serious?
It's dark. This anime is dark. If you like dark, sinister, and like yet strangely beautiful anime, I mean, this one for me more than a lot of the other shows this season. This one's art. Like This one is, the story is so mesmerizing. The animation, the world that they've created, it just draws you in immediately. You just want to know more.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy because season one, episode 1 is like in this very stark tundra-esque thing, and then now we've discovered this like lush, beautiful forest, and you're like, oh, what are the people like? Because this is the first time we've seen other people, really. And you discover this little girl, and she is just like the cutest little thing. She's like playing with her dolls, and she's like, "Look at me, I'm the mommy. I want to grow up." And then some like village people come by, and they're like, "Whoa, hold up, about that growing up thing, maybe not, because we got to sacrifice you over on the top of the mountain there." And she's like, "I don't want to do that." He's like, "No, that's just, you got the raw end of the deal. Sorry."
Sucks to low roll, I guess.
There was just like a couple of minutes where you realized, as they were explaining like what was about to happen, that you're just kind of like, how dare you? How dare you do this? And they did such a good job. The voice actress for the kid is just like doing such a good job, because this kid is just, she's like such a little like I don't know. She's just such a, I mean, the title of the episode is a rambunctious kid, and she is just that. And she's so like lovable because she's just like such a derp.
She's so full of life, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like,
bad.
Pinch your cheeks. Ah! Okay, but the thing is, now it's like, why did they have to sacrifice her?
Yeah,
right, so there's lots of questions.
Village,
I don't know. This could be a cult. Who knows? But the thing here is, why does she need to be sacrificed? Also, it's going to be interesting because for those that don't know, from episode 1 by now, the dog, it's able to shapeshift. As I had mentioned, it's like the thing, and it becomes its it had an owner, and the kid died in like the frostbite of like the middle of the tundra, and then it just kind of took his form. And it was a beautiful way that episode 1 ended. It left his body on the chair, you know what I mean? Like, and it was kind of sad. And then you just watched it kind of, he's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go live your life now. And I'm going to try to live it for you since you couldn't make it. And now I'm curious what that's going to have to do with this little girl and why this village needed to sacrifice her. So there's mysteries here. There's a lot of the world that I like so far. This is definitely one of the ones that I didn't actually have too many opinions on. I was just like, okay, I'll watch it, but it's been pretty good so far, and it's definitely hitting the feelings pretty hard.
Yeah, I think this one is like a front runner for anime of the season for me so far, and like I think it's just beautiful, unique, and dark, and I just want more at this point. So, yeah, I love To Your Eternity.
After 2 episodes, would you rate it?
It's a big 5er for me. Big 5er.
5er.
I'm fully invested. I feel like this is one that I am going to love.
We're not talking about how to not summon a demon lord. You know that, right?
Oh, sorry. No, still a 5.
Okay.
No,
okay.
It's so good.
Yeah, no, I would say this one so far has me at a 4. About a 4 Nii-San here. 4 Nii-Sans. It's good. It's starting off good. I need to see more, right? I need to see more. A solid 5.
So far.
Yeah, but like so far, I'm liking it. This girl is adorable. This is really sad. It's got the emotional ties to it. I you know what, 4.5, but I don't think it's perfect yet because it is looking like it's just another one of those worlds of like, all right, well, it kind of looks like a little Dr. Stony, and I kind of was like already off put by that kind of world. So aesthetically, it's something that I myself am always skeptical of. Just the whole.
How do you have such high standards and low standards in anime?
Simultaneously.
I'm very confused here.
I've never met someone so picky yet so not picky simultaneously. I know.
Right,
I don't know.
Okay, next anime. This one, I think you're watching. Nagatoro-San.
Okay.
Return of the Purple Nurple. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. So purplenurple.anime, I gave it a shot. First episode, it's exactly like what I thought it'd be. She is just the most annoying main character, like the most annoying character. She's harassing the guy the whole time. And I kind of didn't really like it. right? I would say the first episode almost put me like to where it's like, okay, sure, whatever. I guess I'll watch it and see what happens. Second episode, I'm starting to come around to the show. Maybe second episode, because the thing here is maybe that's what I've been missing in my life. The thing, and this is the episode too. This is actually the episode where it happens. So maybe this is it. But like, it's, you know,
Crim discovers something very special in this episode.
I went on that soul searching journey, and I'll have to say that so far this second episode makes her. It seems like it's building her up to be a lot more sincere than just this annoying troll character, right? Like, it's kind of, the first episode is just, it's meant to make you hate her. I think you're supposed to feel that, like, you know, she makes the main character cry, you know, she does all these things, and it's hardcore bullying, and it's really upsetting. But then then episode 2, you see her talking to other people, like these guys, they like hit on her, all that stuff, and she's just not into them, so she just like, and of course, you know, the main character happens to be kind of nearby, and he's like, all right, now she's going to just rip into them and watch, she's going to make them cry too. And she's just like super like unenthused, like she doesn't care. She's like, nah, I don't really like you. Thanks for, I guess, the drink or whatever. But when she's with the main character, she shows all this life, all this, you know, all this emotion, and like is herself, for better or worse, right? And with that, I think I could see how this show gets better, in that you're gonna see it's a little bit like young love, that kind of stuff, when you're like in middle school or whatever, and people will say, well, if you know they make fun of you or something, they probably have a crush on you or something like that, right? But like I kind of feel like it's a play on that, because it does feel like she's really picking on him because she's into him. And that she is this, like, you know, she's just kind of putting up this front, but is actually super duper into him. And this is her way of like kind of just making conversation with him by making fun of him. It's not exactly the best method. I don't recommend doing that. But I see where, like, you know, it's coming from, because, you know, they're both young, right? So communication from me in middle school is probably non-existent and very bad. So I could see it's got heart, and I want to see more of it, and I want to see more of her. So right now, I will say I'll give the show about a 3.5, which is insanely high considering that I wasn't even gonna watch it.
Yeah, insanely high that it's so close and scored to Your Eternity. That's crazy.
Okay, different categories, dude. Different categories. Okay, different categories.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that the manga readers swear that she is somebody who like gets more tolerable, I guess, for lack of a better word. I think the thing with this kind of character is, I think for some people it's going to be interesting, because you said it started out with you disliking her, and then it's like slowly redeeming her. Because I think another show that had a very annoying main character that some people turned around to, some people didn't, is Umaru. I don't know if you ever watched Umaru. What am I saying? You literally have the hood. Is that, like, you know, when you see Umaru as a person, she's annoying. She is an awful. She is so awful to her brother. But the thing is, like, you kind of find her endearing in like a really like dumb way, because she's like
brother sisterly annoying though, right?
I guess so, but
right.
You know, in my case, like I enjoy her because she's like the personification of my inner gremlin that I've always wanted to, like, you know, and so her antics are just funny to me. It's like watching like kind of like Tom and Jerry. Which is like fun. God, what are these old ass references, man?
Tom and Jerry. You couldn't have thought of a more recent one, dude.
I don't know. I was just thinking Tom and Jerry because like Jerry is such an asshole, but like when you're watching the show, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just kind of watching the antics, right? And,
yeah.
Like, that's how Umaru is for me. Like, yeah, she's annoying, but like I'm not like. And so I wonder if Nagatoro is gonna fall under that category too, where it's like if you really like bite down and like think about all the things that she's doing, yeah, like maybe it's pretty unsettling, and maybe it's, I don't know, just bullying, you know, but
it is.
Like, well, but you know, the thing is, like, maybe the antics end up being, you know, like more tolerable, or like she becomes. I don't know. I haven't watched it, but I'd be interested to see like how your reaction to her kind of evolves as the season goes on.
Yeah, and I think you should give it a shot. You're gonna definitely everything that we talked about in the last episode, you'll see in episode 1, and you'll feel that it's like, oh, I hate this show. I hate her. Can we just remove her from the show? but then you see it in season 2. There's just like, it's obviously only 2 episodes in, so you don't get to see much, but you see a sliver of who she could be.
Gotcha. Okay, now this next show was the highest upvoted discussion threads on our anime, but yet I think you and I have a pretty different take on it, but it's 86. 86 has had like 8,000, 7,000 upvotes on Reddit. It's like very, very highly regarded on our anime. And I remember last time we talked about episode 1, and like we weren't super into it. And,
yeah.
Okay, now second episode is out. Like, how do you feel now?
I just don't understand the like all of the buzz around this show right now for me. Just because it seems like they want to set you up for this really big buildup, but there's nothing in the first 2 episodes that makes me want to continue watching it other than that there's buzz. So people are talking about it in high regard, and I'm just watching. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even think the robots look that cool.
I'm gonna be honest. Those robots just look like little spider gun things, and I don't like watching them.
They look like the little droid that follows you around in Destiny, the bot that fly. Yeah, like they just look like that, but with like a little more spidery legs. And the characters, they're not that lovable. They just seem kind of bland. There's nothing that's drawing me in yet, and I'm gonna keep watching because it's only 2 episodes, and I feel like this has got to be a show where you've got to watch 5 episodes to see the first bit of payoff. And I don't know, maybe that's a pacing issue that they might need to like tell the story a little bit better, faster. I don't know.
Yeah.
For right now, this show is like sliding from my watch list into almost getting cut for the season if it doesn't pick up in 2 episodes.
Yeah, like I want to like it because people have said that it gets good or whatever, but I haven't really found it yet. The only thing that's kind of interesting to me so far is in the second episode, they kind of go into sort of like the propaganda that the world is kind of under, like their nation, and they've basically stripped away humanity rights from this other race of people. And so now I'm like, okay, well, I want to see them overthrown. That's like the payoff I want to see. But and so far, I guess I don't really I don't love the main girl that much. She looks like an off-brand. What's that one anime with like the legendary weapons and every time they fight, one must die?
Oh, Fate.
No. I feel like it starts with an A.
Attack on Titan.
No. Anyways, it was oh my god! I swear to God, if you saw, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, one of the characters has like, she's like a ice lady and she's really strong and she has like the same thing, like long silver hair.
Akame ga Kill.
Military hat. Akame ga Kill. Yes, yeah, that's it.
Yo, hold on, I like that show though.
The show was okay, but like, you know, that character is basically one for one copied, except the new 86 version is like, she's this like overly naive, compassionate girl for the people of the 86 district.
Yeah.
And I don't find her that like engaging, really. If anything, I just feel like she's very naive. She clearly is kind of book smart, which is kind of her redeeming trait so far. And her empathy towards the 86 is like why we kind of want to like her. But other than that, she just feels a little kind of out of place. And then we finally get a little more of a glimpse at the people in the 86 district. And they're like a ragtag group of, at this point, war veterans. And they're kind of just, I don't know, just trying to scrape by, essentially. And their idea of fun is like shooting cans off the side of the road.
Right.
But there's actually not that much like personality there. Okay.
The interaction between the characters, they're no more than just like a few lines of, okay, sure, I guess. Like,
yeah, it's mostly everybody just getting their like rocks off to the Undertaker, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, Undertaker, you're so cool," and Undertaker's like, "Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm pretty cool. Yeah, I guess so."
You may have heard of me.
Yeah, yeah. I don't do those book reports. No one even reads them. It's like, okay, Undertaker, you're so freaking cool, Undertaker. He's been in service for 5 years, Undertaker.
Would have been better if it were the wrestler.
Just the old decrepit guy, and then Kane comes out of nowhere.
Yep.
Dude, how many old references? I swear to God, Undertaker and Kane have not been a thing.
Editor,
for
can we
a
put an
long
old
time.
guy counter somewhere on the screen?
Oh my God, these are so many references.
Old guy references.
How old is like?
Does
you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, is Don too young to know what we're talking? Oh my God,
like
I don't even
know. Like,
never mind, just two old dudes chilling.
We need to add some youth to this. We're supposed to say like sheesh a lot.
Yeah,
that's like the thing.
That's
and,
cash
like,
money.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay, let's just keep on going. Okay, so those are like the hype shows that I think a lot of people have been talking about. Let's talk about some of the surprise sleepers. Sort of the shows that we were surprised to know that they were. I can't stop laughing at how old we are. Yeah, okay. But yeah, shows that we think have been surprising, like maybe. I hate to use this word, but maybe underrated, perhaps.
Ooh, there are some underrated ones from this season.
Yeah.
I think let's talk about the one that I view right now as the front runner for me this season. The one that I didn't even have on my watch list. It was recommended to me. You might have watched last week's episode, and it was recommended to me just through Funimation account. Just you should check this out. It has a new episode. Okay, it's Vivy. This has now got 4 episodes. The animation is beautiful, and it's oh my God, that scene in the most recent episode where you see like Elizabeth or whatever, the twin sister that got discarded, and she's like half torn to shreds because she's part AI and whatnot, and like that scene when it freezes on her like face, the detail of every drawing there is beautiful, and just every bit of it is gorgeous. And then there's even the music that's attached to it. It's like just really just beautiful. Other than like everything about the show is beautiful, and then the story behind it, it's so cool to see Diva, Vivy, to like kind of become more human, or learn how to be human, how to process feelings, and how to feel. And I think this is just another part of that, right? And it was funny watching her just like, I'm gonna just rip the arm off this other android and kind of just attach to myself, but and right in front of that little girl, but. I think the
better compatibility than Apple iPhones.
Like seriously though, right? Because apparently just an arm works everywhere. But the thing about it is, she's doing that. She's learning how to be like human. You're watching androids show more emotion, right? And just watching the captain, the blonde captain that was replaced, meet her other sister, and she's like crying and happy, and they're together, like. It just shows that there's more to the AI in this world. And I really liked it. And this kind of just has a little bit of, as I had mentioned before, of Violet Evergarden vibes, but, with way more action. It's got the beautiful animation to back it up. It's about the AI character learning how to feel, become human. And everything about it is just perfect so far. I've loved the storytelling. I've loved the pacing of it. I love the characters. So far, I'm going to actually, if I'm going to rate this is... probably 4.5 Nii-Sans.
Man, what does it take for that last 0.5? What anime in the first 3 episodes have you felt like, oh yeah, that's a 5?
I don't know. I don't know if there is an anime that's I've given a 5. You know what I mean? Because when you're like this early into the season, let's just call it a 5, I guess. But it's kind of hard. Just because this early in the season, you don't fully know everything. You haven't had enough time to grow with the character, see how it all plays out. So to just give it a 5, maybe I'm just not giving it a 5.
Just so far,
Yeah. If we're going just so far, I think this one, I can get behind this because I like the idea of space. So I would, of the ones this season and what we have so far, I'd probably say this is the one out of 3 episodes, 4 episodes, I can feel safe giving a 5.
Gotcha.
So 5 Nii-Sans for this one for me. Just because it's got everything. It hits every check mark for me. Down to the soundtrack and the music in it, it's good. So
yeah, I am loving this show too. I agree. Like the animation, the soundtrack has been a banger. I just love everything. The animation and the fight scenes between the AIs have been awesome. And really, the core question of all of this is kind of like, what is it? What is it to be human, really? And that's very typical of AI stories in general. And even the main girl Vivy, one of the big questions she's asking is, what does it mean to put your heart into something, right? And that's like her central question to her life. And yeah, at this point, in some ways, I feel like the AI feel more human in some ways than the actual humans do, you know? And the stories that they're telling is great. Yeah, I don't know. I love the characters so far. Like Vivy herself is very, even though she's not expressive, she's like simultaneously extremely expressive and super expressive and emotional at the same time.
Not an old guy reference, because this movie came out in 2010, I think. Drive.
That was 10 years ago.
Okay, whatever. But the thing here is, Wall-E?
How old is Wall-E? I gotta look this
Yeah.
up. Hold on.
Well,
is Wall-E a boomer reference at this point?
no, I have no clue. But the thing here is, like, Wall-E, Drive, these are movies where the characters don't have to say much, right? But they get...
Wall-E would be in high school, by the way.
Oh my god, it's got a driver's permit. Well, okay. Well, so Wall-E and his driver's permit will now, like, don't have to do much, right? These movies, I love the shows where the main character doesn't have to say a ton, but at the same time, so much emotion just gets through. And
yeah.
And whether it's through the camera work of the angles that they use, they don't use the weird camera angles that always start from, like, you know, under the skirt and go up, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just like solid, wonderful camera angles that I think are good for the story, like the point of view of the story. And then on top of that, just the way that, like, Vivy's written. Mm-hmm. It's just beautiful. That's what I love about this show so much. She doesn't have to say much, but yet has already done everything she needed to do as the main character.
Yeah. I'm at this point, I'm just, this is one of the ones that I love the most. If I was to give it a rating so far, I'd be pretty hard pressed to say it feels like a 5 right now to me. And I just think all I want from this show now is for it to stick the landing. I feel like I'm pretty confident, like the mini plots that they've set up and resolved already have been amazing. And it's just about what is it. I feel like they're setting up this weird thing between Matsumoto and Vivy. At some point, there's going to be some final conflict, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know. I've been loving the show so far.
Yeah, definitely recommend. Please watch this one.
Yeah, this one is a definitely must watch from your neighborhood friendly Nii-Sans.
Yep.
Okay, next show is Slime 300. Or the absurdly long title, I forgot.
I killed
300
slimes. No, I killed slimes for 300 years and capped my level, or it's something like that.
Something like that,
right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Slime 300, I think, is what it's being called, and I like that so much easier. It's so much easier to say. This show is another one that was not on my list. I wrote it off immediately. Like, okay, is this just going to be kind of cash in on the, you know, that time I got reincarnated, right? Is it trying to cash in on that hype train? But this is so much more than that. It's got its own main character who is a sweetheart. She's really funny. The show is genuinely funny, and it everything it does is perfect. And if it's not perfect, it's cute as hell. And it only gets cuter in episode 2 because she's got now 2 daughters that come out of nowhere, but one of them is trying to kill her. And her facial expression when she's just like, I have a kid, but how? And then now with literally a dragon maid once again, who is just like, it makes sense with how long you've been alive. You would have a love child somewhere along the way. And she's like, what? No. And so, and then you find out, this is a spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet, but these 2 little adorable girls that show up, one is very sweet, and apparently this other one is sinister with a glowing purple aura that is purely evil, are made from all the souls of slimes that she has killed.
Over the last 300 years.
Yeah. So one of them is literally spending their life, which apparently they are 50 years old at this point. They spend their life to try to kill her. One of them is. The other one wants to stop because she's like, oh, you're my mama. So it's really cute, and oddly enough, the way it ends is exactly the cutest way that could have ended, right? They're like, you know what? Mm-hmm. You want revenge on me, right? Well, you're just going to have to, be my daughter and hang out with me. and live a happy life or some stuff. And I'm just like, that's so cute. I love it.
I also just love the resolution of like, okay, you have this power that is like meant to completely counter my powerful power. However, it only lasts a limited time. So I'm gonna run away. And then when she comes back, she has stored that magic for 50 years and she's spent it all. And so she'd have to wait decades for another chance again.
and it's so potent though that it does not hurt anybody else. Like it because it's essentially
So
it is
specific.
Yeah, it's such a specific magic that it can only beat her. So to see the dragon maid just go stop, and then she just and then she just immediately topples over. I'm just like, that's so cute and funny. I love the show. So
yeah, the show is just so charming.
Yeah.
I just love it. The characters are really really fun. This one is like a good palate cleanser for stuff like To Your Eternity and Vivy, where like they're like very grimdark and serious. This one is just beautiful, cute girls do cute things, the anime, and it's just like it's when you watch it, you just can't help just feel like, oh yes,
I have an
can
ear to ear smile the whole time. It's just so damn cute, dude. I
love it.
This one I would give this early on, 2 episodes in, 5.
Yeah. I love it. The premise is great. The characters are great.
Yeah.
This one is also one of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most.
It's
so, yeah.
Once again, keep in mind this is not in the same genre as like To Your Eternity, but it is a very good like I don't know, is it even? It's an isekai, but it's like a funny. It's just a good comedy. It's just a good comedy.
Yeah, it's just a good comedy.
Now,
all right, this next one, I consider it a surprise sleeper. Megalo Box season 2, Nomad. And I know some people really love the first season, so maybe for them they feel like, oh, it should be justified. It's a hype one. But for me, I didn't love season 1, and so originally speaking, I didn't even feel like I should watch Megalo Box season 2 because I thought it was not going to be that interesting. But actually, I love this season in a way that I feel like was missing in season 1. Yeah,
I could see why. You know, when I had asked you what is it about this season that you like a lot more than the last, and you are right. We are seeing more of Joe, right? Like we see more of who Joe is, not just this OP character that's just there to kind of like move the plot, right?
Yeah.
But now like Joe has this human side to him, and of course you get that through his struggling, and he's. I love that he's finally off the meds, and he's off his like all the drugs, and he's going clean, and he's got a reason to like fight clean, and this season is just for me. This is not a sleeper. For me, this was already high on my list because I loved season 1 so much. So I would say this is performing exactly as I thought it would have. I'm enjoying it as I thought I would have. So this has just been a solid 2-3 episodes already. And I think that, I mean, right now they're building up all the characters around Joe. And you know what? I think this season is better than season 1. And I liked season 1. And better than season 1, though, because the characters around him are there's more depth to them than there just within the first few episodes than there was with, like, don't get me wrong, I love Pops. And I thought he was great. He was the classic, boxing coach in every.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I always believed in you.
Hey, look at me. Hey, it's 50 minutes. You got 20 minutes. You got 20 minutes. You're fine. So like,
bob and weave, kid. Bob and weave.
Yeah.
Drinks beer.
This kid ain't got nothing that you don't. So like, I love Pops, but I think this kind of gets away from the tropes, or at least most of the tropes that you would see from boxing stuff. And now you get to see more of just people in this world that they have set. And I'm excited to see how that is.
Yeah. I don't know if probably by the time this gets out, maybe there'll be more resolution to the current like mini arc that's happening. But I'm really invested right now in the current arc of things where like, yeah, Joe's beaten up. He's like trying to figure out his way. And now he's met this other boxer who's sort of, he's like the antithesis to what Joe is. It's like this other guy has like such a reason to live and to do the things, and he doesn't really care about like the sanctity of boxing or like the true nature of fighting or whatever. He just wants to support the village and his people. Whereas like Joe has no people. He's the nomad. He just wanders from place to place, and all he wants to do is have like real fights to like feel alive, I guess. I don't know, but he's like, and so like this other guy is like they've set up such a good story in this little mini arc, and yeah, I just want to see where it ends up. And of course, you can't really talk about Megalo Box without talking about how good the animation, like stylistically, it's like it harks back to 90s anime. Now it's an appropriate time to do old man references, like the 97 anime that like a lot of people know, like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun. Like the style kind of reminds you of that era of anime, and
like Outlaw
it's such
Star,
a cool look.
Also a little bit
of
right, like. So I feel like they did a really good job channeling that early 90s animation and then kind of brought it up to speed with some more hip-hop, like lo-fi hip-hop music.
Yeah.
So
I modernized it.
Yeah. I think this season, it got the perfect blend of everything. I think it did it right. It did it real. I love this season.
What do you give it so far?
This one, I'd give it a 4. I'd give this a 4.
No, I think that's fair. I think it's like really good, but I think it's kind of. I know I'm going back on what I was like yelling at you about just earlier, but it's kind of hard because I need to see the conclusion of like what's happening right now, and it feels like they've set up a lot of good things, but until the dominoes sort of fall, it's kind of hard to say. But out of a gut instinct, I want to say like 4 is pretty fair.
Yeah,
it's like good, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it. Okay, next one, Tokyo Revengers. This one, I think, has been surprisingly good, but for me, I wouldn't say like I love the show quite yet. Like I'm not like ultra invested into it. The main character. So I guess to talk about the premise a little bit, basically, he finds out that his girlfriend dies, and he gets kind of like isekai'd back into his past. He gets time looped backwards.
Not isekai'd. It's time travel.
I mean, could it be kind of the same thing?
I don't know. Is Inuyasha time travel or is that isekai?
Both? Question mark? I don't know. I think it's kind of both.
All I know is that on stream we've confirmed Space Jam is an isekai. So.
Oh yeah, I mean that one's very much an isekai. Anyways.
But yeah.
So anyways, he goes back in time and he's trying to save his old girlfriend essentially. And the plot thickens because we find out that he goes back in time and he changes one thing. He has a conversation with his girlfriend's brother.
Yeah.
And that forces him back into the new time, and it saved his life. Mm-hmm. But his girlfriend's still dead, and like now it's like up to them to try to like go back in time and like figure out. It's kind of like almost like a game of detective a little bit, where I guess the whole point is that he goes back in time, he tries to like fix a couple things and see what comes out of the time oven 12 years later. And the show is like kind of charming in a way. And the premise is kind of unique, but I will say that the main character is just kind of like, I just don't like him.
Well, yeah, he sucks, kind of like, right? Like that's but that's what he's supposed to be.
I know that's like how he's supposed to be. He's like supposed to be a loser, and he's like supposed to try to like find himself. But like the way he finds himself is like, one, not very satisfying, and two is like he's kind of dumb. You know, like the way the last episode ends. Like, are you? He's like, okay, so to set the story up,
right? He's
like deeply irrational and in like a really naive way, which makes it kind of like almost worse for me.
See, where I guess like that for me, that's where I feel sympathetic.
Oh, okay.
Because he's such a loser, and he's never been in the situation where he needs to change himself to break out of his loserish ways. So, of course, you know, when you're a loser all your life, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna be irrational, and you're gonna be like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna do this, and this is gonna be the first bit of change I've ever done in my life, right?
Yeah.
So, I like him. I mean, I hate him, but I think he sucks. But not because the character and the writing of him sucks, but he's meant to be this character that sucks in our eyes. And
I want to see something like really redeeming about him. You know, like does he have charm? Does he?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter what charm he has because he needs to bring his girlfriend back. His girlfriend is badass. Like his girlfriend is like the backbone that he wish he had. right? Like,
Yeah.
because she's like, yo, I would beat him up for you. And I'm just like, that's the fiery attitude right there. That's awesome. So
Yeah, she's way cooler than the main character.
right. So
That's for
this is why the main character needs to figure this out, right? Now I think this show is perfectly in the middle for me, just because I like the premise. I like that it's kind of just like the way it's setting up, and I like how what it's doing with time travel. I am always a little skeptical of time travel and things like that, but my biggest thing here is like, couldn't they have come up with a better way than to trigger his time traveling abilities? It is a handshake.
Oh yeah, the most advanced technology the world has ever produced. The handshake.
The handshake. Okay, when I saw that in episode 2, like it felt like it got sucker punched real quick, like ha ha.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is how it happens.
Okay, I guess.
Sure.
I'll hold on, right? I'll watch.
Allow it, I guess.
But other than that, I mean, it's got heart. It's got it in a way feels like the show and the main character are perfect, right? Like they are starting off at this low point that it's slowly just getting better and better. And I mean, they are building on this world, and I'm excited to see what comes of it. But right now, I think that the way they time travel is kind of dumb, but we'll see. Right now, I like it enough to give it about 3 stars. 3 Nii-Sans.
3 Nii-Sans? Yeah, I think 3 is kind of where I'm sitting.
It's perfectly just like has enough heart to be average. Like it doesn't overachieve in any way. It just perfectly does what it needs to do to make me keep watching.
I think it has potential, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep watching it and see if it lives up to it. All right, this next one is one that I'm personally watching. Shadow's House. This one has been kind of a little bit out of nowhere. I know some people who've read the manga said that they were really excited about this one, and I so far have loved it. It's wonderfully creepy. It's about this girl who is a living doll, not quite human, and she awakens and she serves these like soot people, these shadow soot people, and they basically are these just pure blackness, and they emit soot when they're like emotional or angry or whatever, and they give off such a creepy vibe. And in the second episode, we get to see a little bit wider of the world a little bit, and we get to see a little bit of like the sinister side to the soot people, and it's just, you're just like, what is happening? Like, I just want to know more and more and more, and the rules of the world are so weird, and they put it perfectly in the episode where they were like, what is the Shadow's House? What are we in? And like, I have so many questions, but the overall atmosphere to the show is great, because the thing is that the main character, she's so bubbly and full of life, and she's just like, yeah, and but then it gets kind of like creepy, because everybody who's a servant in the thing, all the living dolls, they're all like, yeah, we love cleaning, we love to serve, and they're all like singing songs about how they love to serve the Shadow's House, and you're like,
something going on here.
And then now I'm feeling a little weird. you guys have got. It's like when you have a friend who is like a little too nice, and you're like,
"Hey, bud, how are ya?"
yeah. They're like,
"Howdy,
can
neighbor.
I do anything for you?" Yeah, yeah. You need your grass cut? I've got my handy scythe here, and you're like, "No, just put the scythe away. It's
I'm
fine.
gonna go to my. Don't worry about it."
I'm actually installing 5 new locks on this door. And like that's kind of the feeling right now, is that like you're in this kind of because the main character's so bubbly, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I'm having fun, and then the times when you're not having fun, you're like, okay, that was weird. Okay, I guess we'll just ignore it. But yeah, I've been loving this one. This one is like a 4.5 out of 5 for me. This one's been
I need to watch it because aesthetically it looks like that's what I'd like to watch.
Yeah,
so
I think I highly recommend this one.
These are the surprises of the season. I guess there is one more surprise. I'll just lightly go over too. It's how to not summon a demon lord is doing exactly as I thought it would, but not that. It's the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. I think this is one that is enjoyable. It's an isekai where the main character, she's really charming. She's like this book smart, and like isekai person where she's just all the potions that she makes, everything that she does, it's just 50% better than everything else in this world. So she's just trying to. So they're like, hey, we want to keep you on the down low, so the word doesn't get out. And she accidentally makes like aging cream and whatnot for complexion, and it does a killer job. And it actually like it gave her better eyesight. Like she wanted to get the bags out from underneath her eyes because she shows up in the world with glasses, and she just like, I got the bags out of my eyes, and she's like, oh, guess I don't need my glasses anymore. so like legitimately it's funny, it's charming, and there's literally she saves this hot prince, and like the whole town's like, you have Mr. Like Prince Ice or whatever, you're melting his heart, how are you doing it? And so it's cute. It's cute. I like it. I haven't seen it.
Don't take her Viagra.
Yeah. Good Lord, do not take her Viagra. I don't even want to think that with it. Oh, man.
You'll have to see a doctor after 8 hours. Anyways.
I can't watch the show anymore, Xell. Oh! Because now I'm going to wonder what else she could have made, right? But legit, check it out. It's charming, minus what Xell just said. Don't let Xell paint your pictures. Why, Xell? Okay, now let's go.
Another monkey paw wish. Okay.
I would now let's talk about a few of the ones that are. I think we have enough time. What is it? We're an hour right now. We have about a few that are just perfectly average, like performing how we thought they'd be doing. Right. Mm-hmm. So for me, as I had mentioned, How to Not Summon a Demon Lord. Really, really just. If you're into that ecchi, that kind of stuff, it's got comedy. It's got what you want out of it, and you know what kind of low hanging fruit comedy there is. Simple as that. You if you're into that, you're into it. I would recommend it. It's more of the same stuff from season 1. So I could quickly just say probably three Nii-Sans out of that one. And the one that I really wanted to touch up on was Welcome to Demon School Iruma. This one is actually exactly what I thought it would be, and I really like how the ring with he's got this ring now, and from season 1, and you didn't really know how it worked. All you knew is that his grandpa Sullivan was powering his ring, and there was something, but at the same time the ring was always hungry and needed more magic power, so they gave the ring a personality, and it's the cutest personality ever. And you're just already into episode 1 of Demon School Iruma. I love it. I want more of it. I cannot wait till next week to see it. I just hope that we don't have what happened last season where there's 24 episodes, and somewhere between episode 12 to 19, there was a seriously slow lull point that just felt like, how can we watch this paint dry for 7 episodes? And so if they can get around that this season, I think season 2 has all the potential to set up for a great season 2. Because there's this weird dark like tone I'm getting from like this. It's like slightly kind of like, hey, there might be something coming because like he's able to talk to his ring because no one else can talk to the ring, and his grandpa who gave him the ring's like, there shouldn't be anyone that you're talking to. What do you mean? So there's something up. And the fact that Iruma's able to talk to this ring, I'm very excited to see how this unfolds. Love the first episode. I think I'm going to give this 3.5 to 4 Nii-Sans.
One of the ones that I wanted to quickly touch on was Zombieland Saga. The second season is out, and it's pretty much, exactly the same sort of shenanigans that we come to expect from the
Adorable
zombie idols. Yeah, but they're zombies, and they
Gotcha,
have
the
to
anime.
deal with zombie things. No, there's no gotcha, I don't think. And this last episode, they deal with this one, basically Elvis Presley, Japanese Elvis Presley, but way past his prime. And he's got the pompadour,
Is that
but
us?
He's old now, but now it's drooping. I think, hopefully not. I don't want to be that guy. The way they introduce him, by the way, is he's on the top of the convertible, not standing on it heroically. He's just laying back on the hood of the car like this, and his pompadour is swirling around in the wind. And that's how they introduce it. I'm like, okay.
That's how I'm gonna enter every room when I'm however old that is. That's how I need to do it.
Of a convertible, yeah. I just don't even understand. I still don't know what pompadours look like in real life. I don't think I've actually ever seen
It's
one.
like a meatloaf on your head.
That still doesn't
Am I
really.
am I not selling it?
Like, do they have to like put something in there?
Yeah,
to
it's
hold
like
the structure up?
imagine. Did you ever watch Blade Runner? I guess.
I don't remember Blade Runner.
Okay, don't worry about it. So yeah, like it's like yeah, the hairstyle just like kind of combing in, right? But on both sides.
It feels like it defies the law of physics.
It does. That's why the best way to describe it is like it's a meatloaf just on your head.
Okay, well, meatloaf hairstyle. Got
Yeah,
it. Okay.
look, I'll do it next. I'm not gonna do it next week. Maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe I could be persuaded in the subreddit. But
Once we hit a subscriber goal, we both do the best.
yeah, we do the best pomp, dude. Oh my god, we do the whole. I'm so down. You heard it here. It's gonna happen. We just gotta figure out what that goal is. 1,000 subs.
Yeah,
1,000 subs.
1,000 subs.
1,000 subs.
Another show that I want to quickly mention that's continued from last season is Spider Isekai. And the only thing I really want to say is, my god, I do not know what happened to the animation in the second half of that episode. The animation just felt like they were so rushed that they couldn't get the in-betweens done, and they just had to cut all over the place. I thought it was like super noticeable that the back half of that episode just felt like, what the heck? Spider Isekai is testing my patience. They're really trying to ask the question of like, how bad can we make the animation before you give up on it? I already know what that level is because I've seen X-Arm, and I know how bad something
Or has
can
that
be
just
for me to
increased
drop
your
it.
tolerance? For bad?
Yeah, maybe that's possible. Now that I've watched X-Arm, I feel like I can watch anything. And dude, don't get me wrong. I've watched some pretty ugly anime. Like Shinsekai Yori is an ugly anime, but it's very good. And so, for me, it was forgivable because the story's so good. Spider Isekai is really testing my patience because like the story is kind of like, it's just kind of interesting, like not like super interesting, but just kind of there. And the animation is just ugly. It is an ugly show. It is. Did I mention ugly?
I can handle the monsters. I can handle the cheesy N64 monster graphics, but there's things around that are also problematic right now. And so now I'm like, okay, hold on. What's going on? Because I can play ball with that because I thought that was intentional. I'll give you the bone there. But now it's like, hold on. Now you're fooling me. Now you're making me look like a fool here because now everything around the monster is also starting to look bad, right?
Yeah.
It got choppy. It got
really choppy, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's like a sign for things to come, like if they're having production issues or something. But I think I'm still invested in the story because I feel like there's some amount of things that I want to see paid off. But
the main character, the spider character, she's carrying that show. She is somebody check in on that voice actress because, dude, good lord, is her back hurting.
I'm pretty sure she's also the main voice actress to Slime 300. So
of course she is. Dude, she needs to be preserved. She is precious. Every role that she is in, then she is nailing it, and the drive in the best part of the show. So the spider show right now is entirely being carried by that main character.
100%.
Now we have talked about the overachievers, the ones that are just perfectly average, and then there's the surprise ones. But do we have any that we're kind of now like winding down on the show that we're looking to maybe getting close to like dropping? Like,
yeah, I mean, the one that stands out to me right now is the Slime Diaries. I don't know if it's just about the first 2 episodes and it's just a slow start, but like, it's been super disjointed, and I'm finding myself kind of like falling asleep in these episodes because they just don't have like a purpose or a direction. And like, don't get me wrong, there's a time and place for like aimless sort of episodes like that. But when you're starting off the season like that, when you want to feel like there's like an investment that you want from the show, it just kind of does the opposite. And because like compared to Slime 300, the other slime show, it's like the premise is there, and then they just hook you in with this like mini story, and they pull you in with the 2 slime girls. In the Slime Diaries, there just isn't anything yet. They're just like, we're just like wandering around, and they're just not. Yeah,
which is kind of weird because it's the characters that we loved already, right? Like there are characters that we love from the show.
I'm invested into the characters. Just give me some semblance of some plot, I guess.
I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to make reasons for myself to keep watching because like you, I was excited to see more of this world with more of the characters that we love doing. More like filler arc stuff every day. Shenanigans in the background, but they're not doing anything.
No.
Somehow they found a way to perfectly just be really boring, and none of the reasons why we love the characters really show in this spin-off of the Diaries. And it just feels like this is if this is where they cut all the filler, all of that, and they just made a B-side and they just released that, and this is the B-sides. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to give this one more episode and then I'm going to cut it.
Someone else can let us know if it ends up being better than we think it is. But that's definitely where I'm at right now.
And then, as I had mentioned earlier, 86. I see this world building up. I see a lot of the a lot of good buzz around it. But if I don't start getting something around episode 4 or 5, just give me a nibble, just something, give me breadcrumbs, just lead me along, okay, please. I want to like the show, or give me a reason. I'm finding ways to enjoy it. I'm trying at least.
Yeah.
And
give me something there.
Yeah, there's just not enough of anything to really hook me in. The main character's not cool, all that. So we had already mentioned that. So, is there anything else that's close? I didn't get to really mention it earlier. We kind of glossed over it, but Fruits Basket Season 2, the final season, it's shaping up to look a lot like how the manga is going to end. So it's doing a good job so far. So I'm a fan of that. So if you're a fan of Fruits Basket, this is a great final season so far, and you're going to really enjoy it. But otherwise, are there any others from this season that we're close to either dropping or kind of just done with?
That's kind of it. I mean, to be fair, again, maybe it's because of Exarm, but I feel like my tolerance for that anime is way higher than normal. I sat through 12 episodes. That's 4 hours of my life dedicated to watching Exarm. I feel like I can take on anything at this point.
I'm invincible.
And so
watch
Ijin
and the Berserk remake.
I watched all of Ajin. Yeah, I watched all of Ajin. I didn't watch Berserk. I watched all of Ajin. Oh. I kind of liked it.
Oh! Oh!
So, yeah, I don't know. Come at me. My eyes are impervious.
Whoa, dude! Somebody needs to get you some sanitizer, dude. Because
just
rub it into your eyes, man. Are you okay? Because dude, Ajin was so bad. Berserk remake was bad. Oh man. And then,
dude, I'm telling you, I've watched some ugly anime, and I'm here. I'm still here. I'm still standing.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess with that, then, I mean, obviously it's a little bit early, so our list of drops aren't going to be as big until we get more towards the middle of the season. Right now, we're still exploring and seeing more of these worlds and whatnot. So, but I'm liking for a majority of this season a good amount of the animes, and last season too, which feels amazing because the season before that was a huge drought. There's 2 animes I liked. So, right now I could say that these last season and this season are filled with some serious bangers and some ones that I just really did not expect. So really watch these and check them all out. Give them a shot. The ones that we just mentioned, like Vivy, Slime 300. If there's one thing you take away from this episode, from me at least, watch that.
Yep. Vivy, Tear Eternity, Slime 300 are some of my favorites this season. So
yeah.
I guess that's it. Let us know if you guys have any if we're critically missing an anime or whatever, suggest it to us and and let us know. We have our subreddit that is up and running, and of course, as well as the YouTube comments. We are also working to get the podcast onto podcast platforms, so be on the lookout for that. We'll definitely announce it when it happens. So but yeah, I guess with that, this is the end of episode 3 of the Nii-San podcast. Yeah.
Tell everyone, tell your grandma, tell everyone you know about it, share it, spread it like butter, do the thing. Hit the bell.
Yeah. Okay.
Do the subscriptions.
Thanks you guys for watching. Catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
We are the Nii-San podcast. There.
Fusion.
There. Ha.